This is Michael Popok, Legal AF. Donald Trump picking Howell, Michigan today for a campaign stop is not by coincidence, I suggest and posit. Howell, Michigan has been the scene of some of the most virulent, racist KKK, Ku Klux Klan rallies in the 70s and 80s. Howell, Michigan, so bad that according to Black Americans in and around Michigan, they have been taught since childhood to avoid Howell, Michigan. Just last month in Howell, Michigan, KKK protesters marched through the downtown chanting about Donald Trump and Adolf Hitler in the same breath. And this is the place that the campaign has decided is a perfect place for Donald Trump to campaign against Kamala Harris and in favor of what he refers to as law and order. Think about that. Donald Trump has decided that one of the crossroads of the KKK and one of the places which has always demonstrated complete intolerance and has been against Black and Jews is a great place to go against Kamala Harris and give a speech. It's that kind of half-baked thinking and racism masked in complete ineptitude in running a campaign that is going to ultimately lead to Donald Trump's complete failing. I didn't want this to be just another pin on the map of campaign stops for Donald Trump. I wanted to call out Howell, Michigan, and I give credit out to the Detroit Free Press and to News One for doing some deep dive into what is Howell, Michigan. Why has that been chosen? Sure, Joe Biden went there in 2021 to talk about infrastructure in a county, in an area where he lost by 20 points to Donald Trump. But for Donald Trump not to recognize, just last month, pro-Trump MAGA supporters, KKK, chanting about Hitler and Donald Trump, and he thinks that's a good place for me to go on my next campaign stop against the first woman of color to ever run for the or to ever run for the presidency, other than, of course, Shirley Chisholm. That's a good place for me to start. Okay. Now, this is the same Donald Trump. He doesn't even fake his racism. He doesn't even, or as AOC said during the convention last night, he's just a two-bit, and now I'll fill in the blank, two-bit racist. He doesn't even hide it. You know, he posts, as we talked about on the MeidasTouch network, he posts a something on his Twitter that just clearly appeals to racism, right? It's just import the third world, become the third world. And on the left is this, obviously a white neighborhood, I guess, that he calls the neighborhood under Trump, and under the neighborhood under Kamala, it's people in New York who happen to be ethnically diverse, Black and brown, waiting in line for some immigration status issues in Manhattan. What does one have to do with the other? Other than it's just a blatant attack on race and color in America. And another way to thumb your nose and poke the eye out of America and put your boot on its throat is to go to Howell, Michigan for your next campaign stop. I mean, if you were just to read Donald Trump's postings, you'd think, well, it's just another place. President Trump to deliver remarks on crime and safety in Howell, Michigan. But to those that live in the area, especially Black Americans, they shuddered, they cringed. A chill went down their spine. To say Howell, Michigan is to basically say the KKK. I'm not indicting all the people that live in Howell, Michigan, but it's a terrible optics and terrible backdrop for any campaign. And all it's doing is blowing the racist whistle once again for Donald Trump. He wants the Proud Boys to vote for him. He wants the Oath Keepers to vote for him. He wants the racists, the John Birch Society and the KKK to vote for him. While Kamala Harris is appealing to Nikki Haley voters and DeSantis voters and reaching across the aisle to bring in new voters as her electoral map expands in front of her in various ways to win, Donald Trump has a narrow path and it's directed towards defeat. Summertime sadness or the blahs creeping in? Is the heat impacting your focus? Looking for some levity, but need to embrace life with your hands on the wheel? Enhance your everyday with Via. Via is a company dedicated to harnessing the natural benefits of hemp to create high-quality wellness products. From setting the mood in the bedroom to chilling out after a long day, Via has something for you. With award-winning THC and THC-free gummies, Via has a dosage to encourage your comfort. No need to block off hours of the day for an unproductive high. when you can experience the full spectrum of benefits from cannabis and hemp products with a microdose of THC to give you a little boost without compromising your responsibilities. Via is also well-renowned for their premium indoor THCA flower, soothing topicals, and calming drops, all crafted with the highest quality hemp sourced from trusted, independently owned American farms. And the best part? Via legally ships to all 50 states in discreet packaging directly to your door with a worry-free guarantee. No medical card required. Trusted by over 500,000 happy customers for their wellness needs, Via is the brand everyone's raving about. So if you're over 21 years old, check out our link to Via's website in our description for 15% off. Unlock the power of nature this summer with Via's organic and vegan hemp extracts, perfect for relaxation and rejuvenation. Via is the only lifestyle hemp brand. They use compounds found in hemp along with active plant extracts to create products, each with a specific effect in mind. Whether you want to get better sleep, ease anxiety, enhance your mood, or just get high, they have something for you. They also have zero THC products if THC isn't for you. You can still take advantage of their CBD line with products designed for sleep focus and energy that will keep you glowing all summer long. Their products range from 0 milligrams to 100 milligrams of THC, so these guys have you covered whether you're looking to microdose or enjoy more potent effects. Farmed and crafted with care in the United States and sourced from the finest hemp for your peace of mind and lab tested and certified. If you're over 21 years old, check out the link to Via in our description and use the code LEGALAF to receive 15% off. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them LegalAF sent you. Enhance your everyday with Via. And so he needs to, as part of his campaign, he needs to appeal to the racist voter. There's an old line about Donald Trump. He may not be racist, but racist thinks he's racist. He may not be in the KKK, but the KKK would welcome him. And that's the point. And that's the point of where we are. How do you willfully, blindly pick Howell, Michigan as the site of your law and order? You're not. You don't. I don't even give him that much credit. He did it on purpose, just like he does everything on purpose. And then he claims he doesn't remember, doesn't know what we're talking about. Project 2025, never heard about it. That's a lie. Or as it's now been called, Jim Crow 2.0 by James Clyburn. Proud Boys, never heard of him. Stand back and stand by. Come on. He knew exactly what he was doing. And now he's got to have his campaign scramble and try to act like they didn't do this on purpose. This is what his campaign said about it. Basically saying, well, Biden went there. Yeah, well, Biden went there. Trump campaign spokesperson Caroline Leavitt said there was no connection between the choice of the campaign stop and the history of extremist activity in the city as she tries to backpedal. She noted that President Biden visited Howell in 2021 and that Harris visits cities where racist protests and marches have occurred in the past. This is different. This is white supremacists and neo-Nazis who are campaigning for Donald Trump. That's not the same thing as going to a major city in America who also had protests. What she said instead to try to divert attention was, this is the spokesperson for Donald Trump. She said, President Trump will travel to Howell to deliver a strong message on law and order, making it clear that crime, violence, and hate of any form will have zero place in our country when he's back in the White House. And he did it from the cradle of the KKK, from where there was just the march chanting Hitler's name and his own name. This is the place he randomly chose in order to talk about there's zero place in our country for violence and hate of any form. Are you effing kidding with me now? To paraphrase the great J.D. Vance, having Donald Trump go to Howell, Michigan to give this speech on law and order and tolerance is like putting Jeffrey Epstein in charge of a kindercare. Come on. Enough. Got to call it out. I wasn't really as aware of the racist history of Howell, Michigan. And I'm not blaming the current occupants of the place. But come on, in the 70s and 80s, the Grand Wizard of all of the KKK held some pretty impressive, massive rallies related to the KKK and cross burnings right there in Howell, Michigan. You can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. Donald Trump doesn't get off that easy. And so as sort of a backdrop and a precursor, and we'll be running some other videos about what his statements are going to be in Howell, Michigan. But the actual location of Howell, Michigan is so important to the story that I didn't want it to be missed. So we're bringing it right here on the MeidasTouch Network and on Legal AF. Follow me every Wednesday and Saturday on Legal AF. There it is. The podcast at the intersection of law and politics. If you didn't know why we called it Legal AF 4 years ago, now you know. Wednesdays, Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Watch us, record it, and participate in live chat. If you like audio podcasts, plug in Legal AF wherever you get your audio podcasts from. And I do hot takes like this about every hour on the MeidasTouch Network. If you like what's going on here, leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. It sends a message to algorithmic gods that you want to see this content. So until my next hot take, until my next Legal AF, this is Michael Popok reporting. Heary, heary, Legal AF Law Breakdown is now in session. Go beyond the headlines and get a deep dive into the important legal concepts you need to know and we discuss every day on Legal AF. Exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, all for the price of a couple of cups of coffee. Join us at patreon.com/legalaf. That's patreon.com/legalaf.